The history of Christmas. What if I told you that the jolly man in the red suit was once a Greek bishop who punched a heretic at a church council? Or that in Iceland, a giant cat eats children who don't get new clothes for Christmas? Welcome to the wild, weird, and wonderful history of Christmas. Hey everyone! Today we're diving deep into the fascinating history of Christmas, from its ancient pagan roots to the modern traditions we know and love. We'll explore how Santa Claus came to be, discover some truly bizarre Christmas traditions from around the world, and bust a few myths along the way. So grab your hot cocoa and let's unwrap the story of Christmas. Before Christmas was Christmas. Long before anyone celebrated Christmas, ancient peoples held massive winter festivals. The Romans had Saturnalia, a week-long party from December 17th to 23rd, honoring Saturn, the god of agriculture. During Saturnalia, the normal social order was completely flipped. Slaves and masters ate together, everyone exchanged gifts, and the entire empire basically shut down for one giant celebration. Meanwhile, in Northern Europe, the Germanic peoples celebrated Yule, a festival tied to the winter solstice. The word Yule comes from the Norse word wheel, meaning wheel, referring to the sun as a great wheel of fire rolling toward and away from Earth. The Yule log tradition? That started right here. Ancient Norse people would burn massive logs to celebrate the return of longer days. So why December 25th? Here's the thing. The Bible doesn't actually mention what time of year Jesus was born. The date wasn't officially established until around the 4th century. Many historians believe the early church chose December 25th strategically. It coincided with existing pagan festivals, making it easier to convert people to Christianity. Essentially, the church was saying, hey, you already celebrate around this time. Now, just celebrate this instead. Meet the real Santa Claus. Now let's talk about the man who would eventually become Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas of Myra. Nicholas was born around 270 AD in Patara, which is in modern-day Turkey. His wealthy parents died in an epidemic when he was young, and Nicholas decided to use his entire inheritance to help the poor and the suffering. He became the Bishop of Myra and was even imprisoned for his faith during the Roman persecution of Christians. The most famous legend about Nicholas involves 3 poor sisters whose father couldn't afford their dowries. On 3 separate nights, Nicholas secretly threw bags of gold through their window. Some versions say the gold landed in stockings hanging by the fire. Sound familiar? This act of anonymous generosity is why we hang stockings at Christmas to this day. The evolution of Santa Claus. So how did a 4th century Greek bishop become a jolly man flying reindeer from the North Pole? The transformation happened gradually over centuries. In the Netherlands, Saint Nicholas became Sinterklaas, still depicted as a bishop who visited children on December 6th with gifts. When Dutch settlers came to America and founded New Amsterdam, now New York City, they brought Sinterklaas with them. In 1809, American author Washington Irving wrote about Saint Nicholas in his satirical History of New York, portraying him flying through the sky in a wagon. Then came the game changer, the 1823 poem by Clement Clarke Moore, A Visit from Saint Nicholas. You know it as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. This poem gave us the sleigh, the reindeer, the chimney entrance, and described Santa as a jolly old elf with a round belly. But Santa still didn't look like what we imagine today. That came from Thomas Nast, a political cartoonist who drew Santa for Harper's Weekly starting in 1863. Nast's Santa was rotund with a flowing beard, but he still varied in appearance. Then, in 1931, Coca-Cola changed everything. They hired illustrator Hadden Sundblom to create Santa ads. Sundblom's Santa was warm, human, and approachable, with rosy cheeks, twinkling eyes, and that iconic red suit. Now, here's a myth we need to bust. Coca-Cola did not invent Santa's red suit. Santa had been depicted in red before. It was already associated with bishops' robes and earlier Christmas imagery. What Coca-Cola did do was standardize and popularize this specific look worldwide. They didn't create Santa, but they gave him the ultimate makeover. Now let's travel around the world and discover some Christmas traditions that will blow your mind. In the Czech Republic and Slovakia, children don't wait for Santa Claus. Instead, they're visited by Ježíšek, literally Little Jesus or the Christ Child. This tradition goes back over 400 years to the Protestant Reformation, when Martin Luther wanted to shift focus away from saints and back to Christ himself. Even during decades of communist rule, when the government tried to replace Ježíšek with the Russian grandfather Frost, Czech families refused to give up their baby Jesus tradition. Ježíšek survived and still brings gifts to Czech and Slovak children on Christmas Eve to this day. Let's head to Iceland, where Christmas gets genuinely terrifying. Meet the jólakötturinn, the Yule cat. This isn't a cute little kitten. This is a massive, house-sized black cat that roams the Icelandic countryside on Christmas Eve, hunting humans. According to legend, if you don't receive at least one piece of new clothing before Christmas, the Yule cat will find you and eat you. The tradition originated as motivation for workers to finish processing the autumn wool before Christmas. Those who completed their work received new clothes as a reward. Those who didn't, well, you know. Speaking of terrifying Christmas creatures, let's visit the Alps. In Austria, Bavaria, and other alpine regions, December 5th is Krampusnacht, Krampus Night. While Saint Nicholas rewards good children, his companion Krampus deals with the naughty ones. Krampus is half goat, half demon, covered in dark fur, with horns, fangs, a long tongue, and cloven hooves. He carries chains, which he rattles for dramatic effect, and birch branches for swatting bad children. In some versions, he stuffs the really naughty kids into a basket and carries them off to, well, you can imagine. Let's rapid fire through some more global Christmas weirdness. In Japan, Christmas means KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. A 1974 marketing campaign was so successful that millions of Japanese families now order their Christmas chicken weeks in advance. Colonel Sanders statues wear Santa suits during the season. In Italy, there's La Befana, a friendly witch who arrives on January 5th, flying on a broomstick, leaving gifts for good children and coal for naughty ones. Legend says she refused to help the three wise men find baby Jesus because she was too busy cleaning, and now she visits every child in Italy searching for him. And in Sweden, they build a giant straw Yule goat every year in the town of Gävle, and since 1966, vandals have burned it down 25 times. It's become a tradition within a tradition. So there you have it. Christmas is this incredible patchwork quilt of traditions. Ancient Roman parties, Norse Yule celebrations, a generous Greek bishop, Dutch immigrants, Victorian royalty, Coca-Cola advertisements, and yes, even terrifying Icelandic cats. They all contributed to the holiday we celebrate today. Whether you're waiting for Santa Claus, Ježíšek, La Befana, or nervously checking if you got new clothes so the Yule cat doesn't eat you, Christmas has evolved to mean something special in cultures all around the world. Let me know in the comments. What Christmas traditions does your family have? Are there any weird ones I missed? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I've got more fascinating history videos coming your way. Happy holidays, everyone, and may your winter be full of new clothes just in case.